back to us.
I call Nikki Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The National Party will not be supporting this Environment Canterbury Democracy Restoration Amendment Bill. The bill calls for an immediate general election for the special general election for councillors of ECAN, that's Environment Canterbury, to be held within 3 months of the bill becoming law. Although I was a councillor of Environment Canterbury, and I understand the council's and the councillors' disappointment in being disbanded, I am also impressed by the quality of the work that the new commissioners have done and what they have achieved during their term. As the Honourable Ruth Dyson tells us, the threshold for intervention in the affairs of local government by central government is high. It rarely happens and can only be considered if there is serious failure and/or extreme mismanagement. But there is a history of government intervention into elected bodies. For example, the then Health Minister Helen Clark sacked the Auckland DHB in 1989 with the support, actually, of the National Party at the time, and also in 2008 the Health Minister David Cunliffe sacked the Hawke's Bay District Health Board. Not with our support, okay. The government intervened in the case of Environment Canterbury because the council had failed to effectively manage Canterbury's fresh water. It's a truly important natural resource which we all want managed well. And although Environment Canterbury had had 19 years to get a water plan in place, it had failed to do so. They did not have a fully operational regional planning and policy framework for resource management, which meant that any decisions that had been made were very ad hoc, very inconsistent and very unsatisfactory. There was an enormous gap between what was being done, what needed to be done, and what Environment Canterbury was delivering. Since the commissioners took office, I must say they are a very impressive group. They're extremely well qualified and well experienced, and they've worked together very effectively and have got some really good outcomes for the people of Canterbury. And I just want to have a quick look and to pay tribute to those commissioners because they have done a good job. We've got firstly Dame Margaret Baisley, who's led the organisation. Of course, she's been ably supported by David Cagle, who is respected by all sides of politics. The other councillors are David Bedford, who's the chair of Enterprise North Canterbury and owns a small vineyard, Donald Couch, who's the Lincoln University Pro-Chancellor and has a long history and experience in resource management, Tom Lambie, also a councillor from Lincoln University, who's been involved in environmental policy for many years, Peter Skelton, an ex-Environment Court judge, who's been hugely helpful in developing water policy, and Rex Williams, again a Chancellor, but this time from Canterbury University, who's also been involved in water conservation. So a wide, varied and experienced group. The commissioners have focused closely on water management. That's the most challenging issue for Canterbury faces, and they've worked hard to implement the collaborative Canterbury Water Management Strategy, and they've made real progress. The 10 zones have been established and the zone committees are underway. 7 zones have completed their draft programs and are consulting, and several of the earlier programs are beginning to be actioned. The commissioners at Environment Canterbury have also worked hard to develop collaborative processing to clean up Lake Tiwahora, which is Lake Ellesmere. They've worked with central government, with iwi and with farmers, and they've invested about $12 million towards their clean-up. And this is part of National's $265 million freshwater clean-up across the country, which includes Lake Taupo, the Waikato River and the Rotorua Lakes. National is aware of how important cleaning up the lakes of Canterbury and managing our water well. And it's particularly important that Environment Canterbury operates well. And under the commissioners, they've made real progress. And I believe they will hand it back to elected members in a far stronger position for the future.
I call Reno Tirakatini.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to take a call